I mean, I think that's certainly true, that the disadvantage we have sometimes as designers is that we actually come on before there's a script, and so that's just a balance you have to make. So I think it's a mix of script and director for sure. But it's also, for me, I turn down, I mean, certainly a bad script is a very easy way of deciding what you don't want to do. You try, to avoid that. And then I also have tried very hard not to repeat myself. I get bored really easily, and if I, we all tend to get typecast, and you try and make a conscious effort not to do something you've done before, is what I would say.
Yeah, I think good, bad, or indifferent, they're all difficult to do, and some are much more difficult than others. So you really do want to have something in the script or in the story that you believe in, because as Michael said, you get halfway through it and you're going to be pretty well beaten up anyway, and you may not like the people you're working with at that particular moment. So you want to have something that keeps you going, that you feel this is worth continuing to do. And with me, it's the same thing. It isn't just architecture. It isn't just building sets. It's also somehow helping to create and push and move this story along. So yeah, and also like Alex said, lots of times you don't have the whole script. When I started G.I. Joe, we only had 30 pages, and they were changed about 5 times. So it really is it seems like more and more with some of these really bigger films that the screenwriting process is sort of ongoing hand in hand with the design and the filming process. So that does make it a bit more difficult.
Don't forget the money.
Well, it's very hard to turn down. I once turned a picture down for political reasons. This was in the 80s, and I was offered a movie that I didn't realize was going to wind up going to Africa, and it was going to get paid in Krugerrands at a time when the South African government was an outlaw regime, and it really flipped me out. I cried and, had a lot of sleepless nights, and finally said no. And a week later, I got River's Edge, which was a huge career thing for me. So some projects you don't do because they're distasteful. I've never done a slasher movie. I don't think I would do a slasher movie.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you shouldn't make them. I don't care. This is America, but some things you don't do, right? You guys agree?
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
Not? Anything?
Can I? Let me just add one thing about what Alex said. I think Alex and I have. I don't know about the rest of you. You too. Absolutely. We've both recently worked on pictures. I imagine that were being written while we were doing them. Iron Man is a perfect example. We worked on Iron Man for 6 months on a script that eventually got thrown out. We designed an entire character that's not in the movie that will probably appear in Iron Man 2. And we worked very hard on that. And one of the things that a designer can do, if he chooses to, is to make a real pain in the ass of himself and perhaps help a script get better. We are one of the few, very, very few people on a film that actually does our homework, do homework on a film. We actually research and find incredible lapses of intelligence in scripts. We find new challenges and new opportunities in material that we've researched, whether it be Wikipedia or whatever you go to, or books, and we so often come up with wonderful inspiration that if you're given a director who is democratic and not 100% full of ego, is willing to accept that gift, as we are from our research, and take it and incorporate in a script. So quite often, when you have a script that's not fully developed and you can't do it because you love the story, because the story is kind of suggested but it's not really there, then you do have to rely on your relationship with directors and relationship with the studio, the money as well. But you do have this opportunity to make it into something better. And it happens very, very often that scripts get better after they've gone through the art department, frankly. And you have to do it very carefully because, with all due respect, we do kind of design the look of a movie, including costumes, by the way. We try and synchronize all of this stuff together, but we don't do it in this heavy-handed manner where you come in and say, I'm the guy, you have to ask me first. We do it very quietly, very subtly. Sometimes we have to get a little noisier than most, but we try and effect a control, a kind of visual storytelling, which has been preordained by the director or by the material or by whoever that we are loyal to, and that's our job. And that includes sometimes enhancing a script, coming up with a separate idea, a new story idea. And it's very effective sometimes, and I think it can be a great benefit to the director.